Hey guys, I'm Bittersweet, and today we've got a quick Mythic Plus guide for Iron Docks Season 4, so let's go. Okay, so to get to Iron Docks, go to Oribos by the Flight Master. There'll be 3 portals. One of them is Gogrond. You take the portal and you can fly over to Iron Docks. It's the same way you would get to Grimrail. The start of the pool we have, this first room we have 3 kind of big ads to talk about. First one is Champion Druna, which will do Barbed Arrow Barrage, which just shoots arrows at random players, and then Burning Arrows, which will leave like fire on the ground. Basically spread out for this ad and just avoid everything on the ground basically. There's nothing really you can do like tank wise on this, you just got to spread out. The next big ad is Siege Master Olugar. So you use Shattering Strike on the tank and it's a 6-yard AoE, so you can, if you're fast enough, you can move away. Any range should just be spread already. You'll also do Throw Gatecrasher, which is where you'll choose a random party member and throw his weapon. You can see it there. And then when it lands, it'll start spinning around. So basically, if you're targeted, just move away, and obviously if you're ranged, you want to be spread from each other so you don't all have to move away at the same time, basically. In case you haven't seen the new effects yet, this is the mini-boss, basically, with the new Shrouded effects. He has a few different abilities to normal infiltrators. First one here is a bat. You see it there. Basically, if you don't stun that bat, it will mind control somebody, so make sure you stun it every time. Once you stunned it, you can ignore it. He'll do Sanguine Sphere, which is basically a shield you have to break through and interrupt, otherwise he'll heal himself. So the next big ad is Pit Warden Guanok, which we didn't actually pull. He does a chain drag, which he drags somebody to him, or a charge slash, which he charges to somebody, and straight away after he'll do Blade Storm, which you have to move away from. He'll also do Brutal Inspiration, which will buff nearby allies with 50% attack speed and 15% more damage, so you do not want to pull him with a lot of ads on top of. So we have the first boss now. You want to make sure you tank this guy against the wall or just facing away from the group, because at 50%, he'll dismount and leap forward. So they'll have the 2 arrows you saw on the first ad, which is basically an arrow barrage and a burning arrows. You just have to move away from these. And at 50%, he will dismount and you'll have 2 bosses to deal with. So again, you want to stay away from the frontal, which is Shredding Swipes from Dreadfang. Dreadfang will also pick somebody with Savage Mauling. Basically, he'll reduce your movement speed and do a lot of damage. It's really hard to move away from. Just pop a defensive and eat it. You can use Immunities, Blessing of Freedom, Works, Bop, all those kind of things. The other thing you see here is, what's it called? Reckless Provocation. Basically, the boss will have a big red bubble around him. If you DPS the boss or auto-attack him in any way, he'll be feared. If you have a hunter or a shaman, they can dispel it. Otherwise, you just have to wait it out. Basically, focus Dreadfang first here, avoiding all the fire and arrows and everything, because his frontal and Savage Mauling can be quite difficult to deal with. So just get rid of him nice and quick, and then you just have to deal with basically arrows and Reckless Provocation. Why can't I ever remember that spell? Basically, big red bubble. Don't DPS the boss. Alright, we're moving to the next room now. We have 3 iron stars, so I die here like a noob, but the idea is to group them up and have somebody throw the iron stars down the room and deal with all the trash. These are capped to 15 targets, so you can't just pull the whole dungeon in this room. And you can see here I'm rounding up the very bottom pack there as well, so you don't have to kill them later. And with the iron stars, the main focus is to get rid of all the big giants here, so you don't have to deal with them. I think I actually missed that last pack there because I was a big noob. Cannon Barrage, this next area is kind of fun. You have to wait in between all the cannon barrages coming from the big boss on the big boat. And time your path basically to LOS all the cannon barrage in these little boxes here. Whereas so now we have the Grimrail Enforcers, which is a 3 boss encounter. So we have Nisa Nox who put traps around players, just need to avoid them. Big Boom, you'll summon a little robot in the middle of the room that'll charge towards the player and then explode. Just got to move away. Makgog Emberblade needs to be tanked facing away from the group. He'll do a frontal charge. A Lava Sweep, which will be waves of lava going out into the room you have to avoid. Drugu is the priority target here. It'll do Sanguine Sphere. If you DPS through this sphere, it'll heal the bosses, all the bosses for 50% HP. They do not share HP, so make sure you focus Drugu down. As soon as he puts the sphere on himself, because he'll put it on the lowest HP target, which will most likely be himself, make sure you swap over to Nox and then swap back once the sphere has disappeared. The order here is Drugu, Nox, and then the big guy. Okay, the next boss is Oshir. He'll do a frontal charge, so you want the whole group to stand to the side. He'll leap backwards and then charge forwards, just to move out of this. He'll do time to feed. He'll jump on somebody, start mauling away. You have to either pop an immunity to break out of this, or you just have to DPS through 8% of the boss's HP. Next thing, he'll leap to a cage and break out one of 2 enemies. So the first here is wolves. They'll buff each other, so basically stun these down and cleave them down really quick. The next one will be a Rylak, which will do Acid Spit. You can just choose to CC this ad and ignore it, or you need to make sure you're interrupting the ad and killing it as a prio. That'll leave pools of crap on the ground and stuff, so it's quite nasty. Just CC it if you can and ignore it. and then go back to focusing on the boss. Okay, now we have the final boss, Skullock, which is a 3-boss encounter. We'll start off with Zogosh. He'll jump in the cannon or turret and start firing rapid fire at random targets. So spread out for this, and if you get targeted, just move away from the group. Next we have Crowmar. He'll do a frontal on the tank, so just make sure you avoid that shattering blade. He'll also leap to targets with Berserker Leap, so just stay spread out and try and avoid as much as you can. Crowmar is the priority target here, because as soon as he dies, Zogosh will leave the turret and no longer do rapid fire. Instead, he'll blade storm around the room, just like our favorite big dick warrior there. So Skullock every 40 seconds or so will do Gorona smash everyone to the back of the room, and he'll start channeling Cannon Barrage. So you need to work your way in between the barrages here using the boxes to LOS, or you can use like Gateway, Transcendence, any kind of leaps or speed increase you've got. Get there before he starts channeling, and if you hit him, if you melee him, he'll stop the cast. If you get there after he's already started, like I did just then, you won't be able to interrupt it, and you'll have to just try and survive. Every time the Skullock does Cannon Barrage, he'll basically increase the damage from Backdraft, which is just a fire damage that'll ramp up over time. You want to focus down on Zogosh because he'll do the Blade Storm even during the Cannon Barrage, and then finally Skullock, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this guide and it helped you out somewhat. I'm going to be doing guides for every single dungeon in Season 4, and then going on to more in-depth guides with like routes and skips and tips and tricks and stuff like that for anyone wanting to push higher keys. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and if you want to come hang out and join me for a dungeon sometime, I'm over on Twitch almost every day, so I'll see you there, and thanks for watching. Bye!